December 1957, Philadelphia. A city preparing for Christmas. Children were writing letters to Santa. Families were decorating their homes. Snow covered the streets, and life seemed ordinary. But only a few miles away, someone was about to discover something that would haunt America for generations. It all began along Susquehanna Road, a quiet stretch of road surrounded by trees and empty fields. The kind of place people usually drove past without giving it a second thought. One afternoon, a college student was driving through the area. As he looked toward the roadside, he noticed something unusual. A cardboard box, half hidden inside the brush. He slowed down. For a moment, he considered stopping, but he didn't. Years later, he admitted something strange. He wasn't afraid of the box. He was afraid of being questioned by police. So, he drove away. Days passed. The box remained exactly where it was, silent, waiting. Then, another man noticed it. This time, curiosity won. He walked closer. The box looked ordinary, the kind used to package a baby's bassinet, old, worn, weathered by the cold. He bent down and carefully opened it. Inside was the body of a young boy. He appeared to be around 4 years old, small, fragile, curled inside the box as if someone had tried to make him fit. Police arrived within minutes. The area was immediately sealed off. Experienced detectives had seen terrible crime scenes before, but this one felt different. There was no identification, no missing persons report, no clues explaining who this child was or how he had ended up there. The only certainty was that someone had left him to be forgotten. Investigators carefully examined every inch of the scene: the blanket wrapped around the boy, the cardboard box, the nearby ground. Every footprint, every fiber, every tiny detail could be the difference between solving the mystery or losing it forever. Yet, almost immediately, they encountered something impossible. No one recognized him. Not neighbors, not teachers, not hospitals, not local police. Nothing. It was as if this little boy had never existed. News spread quickly across Philadelphia. Newspapers printed photographs, not of the child's face, but of the blanket, the box, and sketches created by investigators. Thousands of copies were distributed. Post offices, police stations, libraries, schools, everywhere. Detectives believed someone, somewhere, would recognize him. Someone had to know this child. Someone had to be missing him. But the phone barely rang. Days turned into weeks. Weeks became months. Still, nothing. No parents, no relatives, no friends, no answers. The investigators refused to give up. They gave the unidentified child a heartbreaking nickname: the boy in the box. It wasn't a name. It was simply the only way anyone knew him. And that name would remain with him for more than 6 decades. But detectives were about to discover that the mystery didn't begin with the box. It began long before anyone found it. Because somewhere, someone knew exactly who that little boy was, and someone had spent years making sure no one else ever would. The crime scene looked almost empty. No weapon, no witness, no obvious evidence. Just a cardboard box, a blanket, and a child who seemed invisible to the world. The first question was simple. Who was he? Detectives estimated the boy was between 4 and 6 years old. He was undernourished. His hair had been cut very recently. Oddly, small pieces of freshly cut hair were still stuck to his body. That detail immediately caught investigators' attention. Someone had cut his hair after he died, or just before. Why? To hide his identity, or to erase the last traces of where he'd been? Then came another discovery: the cardboard box. It wasn't homemade. It had originally contained a baby's bassinet. Every product has a destination. Every shipment leaves a paper trail. Detectives believed if they could trace the box, they might find the person who bought it. So they contacted the manufacturer. The company still had shipping records. Thousands of boxes had been sent across the East Coast. One shipment stood out. It had been delivered to a furniture store in Philadelphia. Investigators rushed there. Store employees searched through old invoices, customer receipts, delivery logs, anything that could identify the buyer. Nothing. The trail ended there. Another door closed. Next, they examined the blanket. It was common, mass-produced, sold in many stores. No initials, no laundry marks, nothing unique. Again, the evidence refused to speak. Police then turned to the public. Thousands of posters covered the city. A detailed sketch of the little boy appeared in newspapers. His face looked peaceful, almost asleep. The headline asked only one question: "Do you know this child?" The response was overwhelming. Hundreds of phone calls, letters, anonymous tips. Some claimed they had seen him. Others insisted they knew his parents. Every lead had to be investigated. One by one, they all collapsed. False sightings, mistaken identities, rumors. Nothing led to the truth. Weeks became months. The investigation grew colder, but one detective refused to let go. He believed someone, somewhere, was still hiding the answer. He revisited the scene again and again. Sometimes late at night, sometimes alone, trying to see what everyone else had missed. Well, then, an unexpected witness came forward. The owner of a nearby gas station remembered something. A few days before the body was found, a woman had pulled into the station. She seemed nervous, very nervous. She asked for directions to Susquehanna Road. At the time, it meant nothing. Now, it meant everything. Who was she? Why was she there? And why had no one seen her again? Police searched tirelessly, but without a license plate or a full description, she vanished into history. Months turned into years. The case became one of Philadelphia's greatest mysteries. The little boy was buried, but detectives made one promise: they would never stop looking for his name. Because somewhere, someone knew exactly who he was. And one day, they believed that silence would finally break. Years passed, then decades. The little boy still had no name. Detectives retired. New investigators took their place. Boxes of evidence were moved from one office to another. Dust covered the files, but the questions never disappeared. Then, something unexpected happened. A woman contacted investigators. She asked to speak privately, not over the phone, not through a letter, face to face. The detectives listened. She identified herself only as M. Even today, her full identity has never become part of the public record. According to her, she had carried a secret for most of her life. A secret, she said, had haunted her every day. She claimed that when she was a child, her abusive mother had brought home a young boy. The boy was thin, quiet, frightened. He wasn't treated like a member of the family. According to M, he was abused, locked away, fed very little. She said she remembered him because he looked constantly terrified. Then, she described one particular night. She claimed The boy became violently ill after eating baked beans. According to her account, he died inside the house. Her mother panicked. She wrapped the child's body in a blanket, placed him inside a cardboard box, then drove away into the night, toward the exact area where police would later find him. It was a chilling story, one that seemed to explain everything, or almost everything. Investigators spent months checking every detail. Could M have known facts that had never been released? Some details appeared to match the original investigation. Other parts could never be verified. There was no physical evidence, no documents, no witnesses who could confirm her account. Some detectives believed her. Others remained skeptical. Human memory changes over time, especially after decades. Trauma can blur the line between memory and imagination. Without evidence, the investigation could not move forward. Once again, the case stalled. The little boy still had no name, still no family, still no justice. And as the years passed, many feared the mystery would die with the detectives who had spent their lives trying to solve it. But science was changing. Technology was changing. And for the first time, investigators realized they might not need a witness. They might not need a confession, because the little boy himself had carried the answer all along. Inside his DNA. For decades, the little boy had no identity, only a nickname: the boy in the box. Every generation of detectives inherited the same question: who was he? By the early 2000s, the investigation had changed. The detectives were no longer relying only on eyewitnesses or old case files. They turned to science. The child's remains were carefully preserved. Technology that didn't exist in 1957 could now recover genetic information from even the smallest traces. Investigators extracted his DNA. It wasn't easy. Years had passed, but the sample was good enough. Then they did something impossible, at least impossible in the 1950s. They searched genealogical databases. Instead of looking for the boy himself, they looked for distant relatives, second cousins, third cousins, family branches that had spread across America. Piece by piece, a family tree began to appear. Genealogists worked alongside detectives. Old birth records, marriage certificates, military records, census documents. Every branch led closer to one child, one little boy whose identity had remained hidden for 65 years. Finally, in December 2022, the Philadelphia Police Department made an announcement. The child, known to the world as the boy in the box, finally had his name back. His name was Joseph Augustus Zarelli. For the first time since 1957, the mystery of his identity was over. But another question remained. Who killed Joseph? Investigators confirmed his family. They confirmed his birth. They confirmed who he was. But they did not announce a killer. Not because they weren't trying, because the evidence simply wasn't enough. Most of the people connected to the case had already died. Others could no longer be questioned. Time had become the greatest accomplice. Today, Joseph has a name, a birth certificate, a family history, something every child deserves. But justice is still unfinished. His killer has never been publicly identified. Sometimes, solving a mystery doesn't mean answering every question. Sometimes, it means giving someone back the one thing they lost before anyone even knew they existed. A name, Joseph Augustus Sorelli. Closing signature. Some stories don't end with an arrest. Some end with a name. And sometimes, that's the only justice history can still offer. This has been Echoes of Fear, because some stories don't disappear, they become echoes.